Hello, welcome back to this House of Walls. My name is Ashley, and on this channel I love to share all things homeschooling and books and anything else. I'm so excited for today because it's the first video for Vlogmas for the 2023 season. I was kind of dragging my feet. To be honest, I really wasn't sure if I was going to continue making videos on YouTube. I had just gotten kind of burned out because I do some here and I do some on Instagram. So I took a couple weeks off, kind of from both, and it was great. But I really do want to post more here. And so I think I'm going to put more of my attention into YouTube and see kind of where it goes. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of Vlogmas and I'm going to post 3 videos every week for the month of December, and then probably 1 to 2 videos between the week of Christmas and New Year's. So it's not exactly, you know, posting every day or anything like that, but that's okay. I'm just excited to get on here and share some books and homeschooling stuff, and share some coffee. I tried to make an iced coffee with some little whipped cream on top, but it didn't whip well, so it's kind of a frothy milk on the top. So I'm really excited to be sharing all these videos. Today's video is going to be a homeschool one, so in a second I will change locations here, and we are going to talk about how the month of November went for our homeschooling family. Little backstory, we have a 3rd grader and a 7th grader, and we've been homeschooling, I think this is our 4th year now. So I'm really excited to share how our November went. Little change in location, but let's start talking homeschooling for the month of November. Overall, it was a fantastic month. We did only homeschool for about 3 weeks out of the whole month. We did take the whole week of Thanksgiving off, and that was fantastic. We were able to see a bunch of family, everything like that. And even this past week, we took 2 days off because we had family coming into town. But that's the beauty of flexibility, and we will definitely catch up on those 2 days. It's totally fine. So because there have been no big, huge curriculum changes, which is fantastic, I am combining both into this video. So if you want, skip ahead to see 7th grade. I am starting with 3rd grade first. So for books, our read aloud is By the Shores of Silver Lake. This has been a harder thing to do. We always used to do our read aloud together first thing in the morning, and now that the kids aren't doing like morning time together, it's just made it a little bit more difficult to pick this up. We did switch it to audio, which is fantastic. The version that we got, the narrator is amazing, and all the times that Pa picks up his fiddle and plays, they have a fiddle player and the narrator sings along with the fiddle. So that is a really cool little addition to this. We don't have much left. We are right there. So I'm hoping that actually this afternoon my son and I can sit down together and knock this out. He did read the 3rd in the Secret Explorers series, the Secret Explorers and the Tomb Robbers. He is just eating this series up. He loves it so much. This one was a lot of fun because they go back in time to ancient Egypt, which we had studied, I guess 2 years ago now, but he still does remember quite a bit about it. So this one was a lot of fun. And then he has started book 4, which is The Secret Explorers and the Jurassic Rescue. So again, he is loving this. Jump back millions of years to Jurassic time and going along with that. Now, we only have the first 4. I will get him more. I do want him, after this one, to read a couple of the books that we still have on his shelf. There's quite a few books over there. And then maybe we'll get back to some more Secret Explorers. All right, so I thought I would pull in a couple things that I don't really show in our monthly wrap-ups, but I am today. So he has been working out of Handwriting Without Tears cursive kickoff. So he has been doing a fantastic job going through it. Let me find a page here. So what I love is that it starts off with manuscript writing and really kind of nails that down one last time before making the switch over to cursive. And so he actually, just this past week, started his first cursive page. So he's really excited to kind of try out some cursive handwriting. Another one that I wanted to just kind of talk about is building spelling skills from Evan Moore. He is doing grade 3. We like this approach. He doesn't need anything more. The lists are working. And so we're just going to keep going with that. And so he is, what is he on? He's on week 13. And so tomorrow, from when I'm filming this, I will sit down and have him do the test and then probably have him go on to week 14. And so, you know, it's the basic, here's your list of words and some activities to practice them. And it works. If he misses a word after the test, I use that very loosely. He writes it up on our whiteboard, and if he misses any, then that goes into the Good and the Beautiful book here. And I have, it's just a blank sheet in the front where I have a list of spelling words. Once he practices them and really gets them, I cross them off, but we still go back and practice them periodically. So he is actually working on rough and tough, and he's just about got those down. So this is just a great way to continue practicing those trickier words. So while I have the Good and the Beautiful here in my hands, it's going great. We like the little phonics cards that goes with this, and the little books. They're okay. During the month of November, he did complete Unit 1, and so he did the Unit 1 review, and I really like the setup of it. So you have this purple column here that you can use to review concepts from Unit 1, and if anything is missed over here, then you can go to the orange column and do the things over there. So then when he got into Unit 2, I will say it does get a little bit more in depth. He is having to actually kind of come up with some sentences on his own. Definitely, you know, doing a little bit more reading. So it's good because he could definitely use a little bit of a push, but while still going over it. He is a little bit of a reluctant writer, and so using these has been fantastic. So here he had to write 3 sentences about this picture, and so we sat here and talked about it, and he kind of verbally narrated it to me, and then he wrote it down on his own. So as of last week, we did get through lesson 47, and so it was a fun little geography activity that he really enjoyed. The dictation sentence for this one, I gave him the sheep try, and he had to, sorry, the camera just bounced, my cat jumped on the table. He had to finish that sentence, and so we kind of narrated it verbally, and he then wrote it down. Get out of my coffee. So this coming week, he will start lesson 48. So we'll just keep going. I don't know that we will do the Good and the Beautiful next year. We are, I don't think, even halfway through our year. We won't make the halfway cutoff before Christmas, and that is totally fine. We've been definitely taking our time this year, and it's great. So we'll see. The thing that we are very sure about is math with confidence. I will yell it from the rooftops. This curriculum is amazing. My son really, really reacts well to it. It has made multiplication so easy, where I dreaded having to teach my oldest son his multiplication facts because they weren't memorizing them at public school. it was dreadful. This just lays it out so plainly and clearly that it just clicks. So we are, I guess, on Unit 6. And this book goes through Unit 8, and then we will move to Part B. So he is currently working on some fractions, and he's been having a lot of fun with that, kind of learning equivalent fractions, comparing fractions, things like that. So you can see he just recently did lesson 6.7, and so we actually had separate pieces of paper that we folded to match this, and then folded to match the equivalent fraction, and then we did a little game. And then he had some practice work on his own. So he has a couple more lessons in lesson 6 or unit 6, and then he'll be moving on, and it looks like he'll be getting into some money. So that will be really fun to get into. I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee here, and then let's talk 7th grade. So if you missed it, my 7th grader has switched to Build Your Library level 6, and it is going absolutely fantastic. We both really like it. I think he's really enjoying the independent side of it, but still coming together and doing the literature portion with me. Now, I will next week have a video with a flip through of level 6. It is ready to go. I filmed it in November and it just didn't get posted because I took that little bit of a break. So I'm not going to go into great depth of how we are using it because it'll all be in that video. But let's talk about what books we finished. So for his reader, he was doing Hazardous Tales, The Underground Abductor. This was his first experience with this, and I have since bought him another one, and I think there's another one in my Amazon cart. And it's all graphic novel, and he's just eating it up. He loved it. Our literature book, so the book that we read together and then he does some activities for in the month of November, was The Giver. This was a fantastic book to read aloud with him. I remember reading this and probably, I think there one more in the series. Yeah, I read Gathering Blue when I was his age. And it was a lot of fun to go back and read it. And then we watched the movie that came out a few years ago. And that was a lot of fun. So his current read aloud, we kind of went off course from Build Your Library because he does have a handful of books that we had pulled aside for him to read this year, and he still wants to get to some of them. So he isn't doing his reader that was in The Good and the Beautiful. He is currently working through The Tiger Rising by Kate DiCamillo. He is enjoying it. He did ask me, now I have never read it before, he did ask what grade it was for, because he was saying there was some language. But we love Kate DiCamillo, and I know that there's always a beautiful message behind her books, so he is really enjoying it. And then for our literature, we have just started the not so boring Letters of Private Nobody. I am loving this book. I think it is funny. I think that there's going to be some amazing character development happening in here. The history teacher in here, Mr. Caro, I think, his humor is getting lost on the middle school kids, but I am having so much fun reading it. So definitely is a hit so far. So we did get through almost all of week 3. We have a little bit of catching up to do since we took off Thursday and Friday for school. Now, I think only struggle with this is that this curriculum is 36 weeks long, 5 days a week. So there's not a lot of flexibility in it. So if you miss a day in the week, then you get behind. I have had to really come to terms with that's okay. If he doesn't get to where I would like for him to get to this curriculum by the end of the school year, it's okay. He is still getting such a fabulous, rich education from this, and it's fine. he will cover American history again in high school. And he also loves to read history books on his own. So I have had the struggle of kind of letting go and letting it just happen. We like to take time off of school if something comes up. He's also been doing golf, and that's in the morning during prime learning time. So sometimes it's hard to get him to focus and get work done afterwards. And same thing, we have a co-op class. It happens first thing in the morning, right when he is prime thinking. And so in the afternoons, it's a struggle. And I would rather him and I not get worked up about it and just enjoy the ride. So just to showcase a couple of other curriculums, I do have Fix It Grammar. This is our second year using it, and he's doing Mowgli and Shere Khan. We're really enjoying it still. This is, other than the literature for Build Your Library, this is the only thing that we are doing together, and it's nice. And I say together loosely. We walk through it. All right, I'm back. My son must have his phone connected through our Echo devices and started playing music. I don't know where I was. Doing Fix It Grammar. It's kind of nice because we'll just go through and be like, okay, there's 5 adjectives, and he'll go through and find all the adjectives, and if he can't find one, I can easily give him a little bit of guidance or anything like that. And so it works out really, really well. I think that we're on track for finishing this by the end of the school year, which is kind of... All right, I'm back again. My 7th grader is at a friend's house and having lots of fun connecting to our Echo devices and playing music through them. So I had to pause and call him and say, please stop. All right, so back to it. I think that we are on track with Fix It Grammar. He has completed through, let's see, week 9, day 2. And there's only, how many weeks are there? There are 30 weeks. So I think we'll be good. That works. So that's a win. He is also enjoying Spectrum Writing, grade 7. He's putting pen to paper and he's being creative. I think a lot of the skills that he had learned from IEW, structure and style, he is carrying over to this, and I am still wanting that level of writing in this. Just because it's a little workbook doesn't mean that you can't give me really good writing. So from this, he has done descriptive writing and did a little thing for that, and he is currently in personal narrative, so he has started that. And I like it. It lays out different like organizational things for pre-writing. I don't think that, you know, there's enough talk of like editing. There's not even enough space for it. So I told him for writing the draft for the personal narrative that it needed to be on a separate piece of paper, double spaced, or typed on the computer, double spaced, so that we can go in and edit it and make it look how it should. Those are all the things that I wanted to kind of share how our November went. This is definitely a busier time of year. I know that come January and February, where it's cold and we don't have a bunch of other holiday things coming up and things like that, more will get done. But I am really proud of their progress for November. It was 3 weeks and it was busy. So keep an eye out. I do have 2 other videos coming this week and next week and the following week. So I'm really excited to do this Vlogmas. And then in January, I will have a December wrap up. I think that we are going to be doing 3 weeks of school again. And so accomplish a great amount. Oh, here's Millie. You wanna say hi? She's my little sweetie. So, thank you for watching, and I will be back for more soon.